To the MBCA, Dan, Sean, this organization means a ton to me, and to see it grow, Gary Filbert meant the world to me, and one of the greatest guys and mentors in my life was Gary, and what he did for this association to keep it going, and now to see the growth we've had and all it's doing to promote basketball makes me very, very proud of what these guys are doing, and I know it's in good hands. Real quickly, I coached for King Libby at Lundberg High School, and he went to the Hall of Fame a year or two ago. He was up here for 33 minutes, so I know I'm going to try to cut that to 23 here real quick. So a few thank yous I need to give. Most important, first of all, my wife Julie, who has been with me pretty much through all of my wins and losses. She's sacrificed a lot of her career to support me, seen about every one of my games. I'm one of those guys who comes home and bad practices and bad games, I have a hard time putting it away, so she's had a crappy husband a lot of her life. But I really appreciate all the support she's given me. My two daughters are here, Danielle, who's a freshman at the University of Arkansas, drove up today. She also wants me to be fast so she can get back to the library tonight. She was being I remember when, it makes me feel old, but she went to the Dairy Queen piece in St. Louis in kindergarten. She would come over to Webster Groves High School for all my practices and games and stuff like that. And she's been, I guess, kindergarten, first grade, second grade. She was at every practice, and I don't know, I hope she didn't learn some of the language or other of those things that went on there, but she's been with me a long time. My other daughter, Gabby Lawson, is a freshman at San Joe Academy, and she got my competitive spirit, and fortunately she got a lot more athletic genes than I ever had. Trying to get her to play basketball, but it's pretty much all volleyball. My parents were here. My dad gave me my passion for sports and athletics. I can't tell you how many games we watched growing up. He taught me a lot of life lessons through coaching, and I wouldn't be a coach or in athletics today without him. My mom, she had a much tougher job of trying to get me interested in school, and my favorite class was recess and then gym. Fortunately, I developed a love of history, became a teacher, and hopefully made her proud. So real quickly, my story. I was summer, graduated from Central Missouri State High School, mid-June. I don't have a job yet. I work at Jim World, which is team camp. And you have on a job scale, you've got doctors and lawyers and presidents, and then McDonald's workers and team camp referees are probably at the very bottom. So I don't have an interview, I don't have a job. And Jim Rhodes was the coach, and Central, the courts run this way, and his office is upstairs, and he was always in there counting the money. So we always had a referee, we always keep our eye on it. So I'm reffing, and I don't know why you remember this, but it's the Warrensburg D team against the Chillicothe B team. And I mean, it's a classic. So I'm leaning against the basket like this, and we try to keep a lookout for him. I missed it, and all of a sudden I hear Jay. I'm like, oh crud! So I run to midcourt, and these kids all run together. You jump ball. So I thought I was good. Well, all of a sudden I hear Jay, get up here. I'm like, oh God. So as I start to go up there, I'm thinking, man. Well, first off, I graduated. It took me 5 years to get through Central, and I love Central Missouri State, but it's not exactly Harvard. So I'm thinking it's taking me 5 years. I have no interviews set up. How am I going to tell my dad that after all that, I'm going to try to get a job at a bartender down on Pine Street? So I go up there and I'm waiting for what he has to say, and he goes, Jay, I got an interview for you. I said, oh man, awesome, thanks coach, where at? He goes, Northwest Shoesville. I said, come again? He said, Northwest Shoesville. And I said, well, where is it? He goes, I don't know. He goes, you got any other possibilities? I said, no sir. So I said, thanks coach. And I was walking away, he goes, don't blow this. I said, okay. So I get in my car the next day, drive down, it's Northwest Shoesville, if you don't know, it's outside of Sedalia. I drive down to Sedalia, I get on what I think was Route HH, and I start driving, and I was born and raised in Columbia, but I thought I was going to Deliverance. I mean, we're going around, I had no idea. I get there, and they said the head basketball coach had to interview in front of the school board. and there was 2 guys in John Deere hats, 2 guys in Seeds hats, 2 guys with toothpicks in their mouth. And so I interview, and I meet, right after the interview, the new principal, Warren Ripley. And I've been very, very blessed to have, 4 principals in my life that have meant the world to me. Well, he talks to me afterwards, saying, I think this would be a great job for you. This is, it's all sorts of potential. He's really trying to sell it to me. And I'm thinking the whole time, dude, I don't have anything else to do. My dad's going to kill me if I don't get this job. So I get the job, and, it turned out those 3 years in Northwest were awesome years for me. He was a great mentor. He allowed me to make mistakes. He protected me from things. Those kids in Northwest played as hard for me as any kids I've had. Michael Gray, Brett Erasmus, Jeff Dillon, Travis Shireman, and I really wish I knew then what I know now. I think we would have won a lot more. But my 3rd year there, we ended up 18-6, and we were pretty good. I said, Mr. Ripley, he let me learn a lot. I remember my first year, it was a week of deer season, and he came by my room and said, if I were you, I don't think I'd practice on Friday. I said, well, I'm going to practice. And I wouldn't practice. I said, I'm going to practice. And deer season, and I didn't know anything about deer season. My mom didn't let me buy a cap then in Columbia. So I said, I'm going to practice. So I go to practice, and school gets out. I go up the stairwell there to practice, and there's one kid there, Dan Blackburn, great kid. It's been great in his life, but Dan couldn't walk and chew gum. So it's Dan and I in the gym, and like any good coach, I chewed his ass for about 20 minutes for the other guys not being there. But then to leave Northwest, I had to go down the hallway, and Ripley's office was right there. And the practice started at 3:30. I'm leaving, so I know he's gonna give it to me. So I walk down there. I try not to make eye contact. All of a sudden, it's like, everybody go out of here. Jimber, what's up? I'll practice go. We'll get it. Thanks. I'll never forget this. I get in my car, and I start to drive. I look in my rearview mirror. We had an old secretary there named Alice. And Ripley and Alice were in that office. They about fell out of their chairs laughing. The little silly slipper deer season. I learned my lesson. Next 2 years, we didn't practice on that Friday. So 3 years there, and my wife and I, Julie, we got engaged. And she hit me with probably the first prenuptial that a high school coach has ever got. She wasn't coming to Houston, which is fine. So we moved to St. Louis, and I get a job at Waterloo High School right across the river in Illinois. Spent 8 years there. I was also 2 years at Lindbergh during that time. And same deal, I had an unbelievable principal at Ed Gardner. I really enjoyed my time there. I had kids. I was a head coach for 2 years. Kids who fought their butts off for me. And we just moved up to a large class in Illinois and ended up around the 500 mark. But really enjoyed my time there. Thought I was probably going to sit up, be liked it there, ended up coaching there and retiring. And ended up, though, I was at team camp with my guys. And I got a call from Ken Libby, who said, hey, Western Girls job is open. You need to get that job. And I said, well, okay, I'm interested. And I went in, and I got the job. So, and to be honest, I promise you, I said those kids at Waterloo were awesome. And Kevin Augustine and all those kids that I coached, Dan Pauline, Colby Earing, I wouldn't have gotten the Hall of Fame being at Waterloo. So when I went to Webster, obviously the talent level was much, much higher. My family and I, we fell in love with Waterloo. We fell in love with Webster, and we moved there, and had the opportunity to coach some great kids since I've been there. Pat Lawson hired me as a principal, now our alumni director, and was very, very good to me. John Clark, our principal now, is about as good as they come. I mean, he's one tough son of a buck, and he comes from a coaching family, and there's nothing like getting evaluated in the classroom, and then you get evaluated, and then the principal goes out, and he's, hey, I got you winning by 8 tonight. So you knew you had somebody who was really, really interested in athletics and very, very supportive of that. Now, when I was at Webster, I had the opportunity to have what I would call 2 of the best possible assistant coaches that anybody could ever have. Chris Neff was under me for 6 years. I believe he's now the head coach of San Joe Lafayette, doing an unbelievable job there. And then when he left, I thought I was kind of doomed. And John Clark said, "I got somebody just as good for you." I said, "I doubt it." But you know what? It ended up being just as good. Scott Stalkup came aboard, and he's been with me ever since. And I said, I don't know, college, pro, whatever, you could not have two better assistants than I had in my time at Webster, because I'm not that smart. So, but those two guys, I had a great staff. I had unbelievable players. Drew Hanlon, who's gone on to make a name for himself in coaching, or excuse me, in training, or whatever you call that nowadays. Tons of great players who've gone on to college, and I'm just very, very blessed. And my main thing, I know my plaque, I guess, will be out there, however this goes, but I really hope that all my ex-players, the coaches who have been with me, my administrators who have supported me, they see a large piece of themselves in that, because, it's nothing really I've done. It's surrounding yourself with great people that make stuff like this happen. So, thank you, I'm humbled, and thank you